we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. There was a lot of information in our packet about all the materials. So I will ask for clarifying questions. Mr. Searing?
Yeah, in the update that we have, it refers to the town manager sharing a recommendation with us here on the council that housing not be considered for the site at this time. Is it possible that housing would be considered at a future date?
Do you want me to answer that? What the DEQ will look at is our concept that we submit to them. We're proposing that concept be just simply for the MSC and not housing. Based on that concept, they would draft a brownfields agreement that would not include housing, since we're not asking for that. And if at some point in the future somebody wanted to pursue housing, they would have to go back through the brownfields program and ask for an amendment to that agreement.
But we're not precluding eventually building housing on the site.
We are not asking for it at this time at all.
Second question, the total cost of the borrowing for the MSC seems to have gone up a little bit to $45 million. Is that just how much of an increase is that from what was before?
Do you want me to answer? Sure. Yeah. The earlier numbers were approximately $34 million was what was in the plan. That number is old, and we know that doesn't match today's costs. 45 is a working number for now. We won't actually know how much it is until we have a design and a construction cost estimate.
And how would that amount of debt affect our borrowing capacity over the next, say, 5 years?
I think you would need to ask Amy Olin for a specific response to that. What I think she has shared with most of you is that MSC is a planned project in the borrowing projections that she has been sharing with the council on a regular basis.
I will assume that it will mean that there'll be projects we have to forego because of the increased cost of the MSC. Would that be a reasonable assumption?
I can ask Amy to get you an answer on that.
Thank you. And then final question, just to balance the amount that we're contemplating borrowing for this cost, which is, I understand the need here, but you all came and presented to us at our recent budget retreat a number of other very important capital costs, and I just want to make sure I have those in front of me as we make this decision. So. One of them was from the fire protection folks. We were saying that 4 out of our 8 fire trucks were recently out of commission. Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct.
And then our fire stations, many of them, our fire chief was saying, no longer meet our health and wellness needs for our employees, so they need replacement as well. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, okay. What about our garbage collection and public works? I think you all said that 9 out of our 16 refuse trucks were recently down for repairs, and many of them need immediate replacement. Is that correct too? And then of our police department, I think you all said that out of our 86 police vehicles, at least 60 were overdue for replacement too. So do you have an idea of how much these, all those capital costs would be? I think it was in the tens of millions at least, but
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And we can certainly provide you some
All right.
refresh numbers.
And
okay,
we can clarify what among those would be bond borrowing related costs for buildings and things like that versus fleet, which we don't finance
I
through
understand.
bonds. Yeah.
Ms. Anderson?
Just to clarify, was staff suggesting that the MSC would somehow happen and all those other projects wouldn't be recommended?
No.
Okay. So my understanding from the extensive budget sessions that we've had is that, first of all, that the MSC has been on hold for over a decade. And is there any reality in which we could not do it? I mean, would that ever be a recommendation from staff?
No, it would not be a recommendation from staff. This is a critical need, and,
Right.
and that's why we're here tonight.
Okay. And in terms of fire, all the other needs that Councilmember Searing listed, which we have discussed as a council, are those also being recommended by staff to be addressed?
They are, and we've spent a lot of time in our budget conversation so far trying to help you prioritize those.
Sure. And we'll have different financial levers in order to address those needs?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I just wanted to be really clear that we're not picking one over the other, or that we can't just address one, that we're an entire town and we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Thanks.